everybody, and welcome to the Soul Space. I'm Georgia Rose, psychic intuitive, psychic astrologer, medium, and who knows what else I'll be shortly tonight. But I'm so glad I want to welcome all of you to the Zencuda Soul Space. Tonight is a very special night. We have a really special guest, which I'll intro in a few minutes. But as you all know, I like to give you all a few minutes to come on. And then, of course, we are going to start with a little bit of astrology like we do every week. So right now we have the 1st of November, which is really exciting. And that means we are in Scorpio season, full force. So Scorpio season, Sun and Mars are in Scorpio right now. And Mars in Scorpio is hot and fussy and feisty and passionate. Can also be a little bit possessive, jealous. The higher octave of that energy is using it for your ambition, because Mars in Scorpio likes to move forward and it's very, very passionate. So I'm going to take a few minutes to share the show. And here we are. Going to share this. And that should do it. Let's just make sure we shared this show. I hate the dead air space that occurs when I do this, but unfortunately, it has to be done. Yep, here we are on the Soul Space. So tonight I have a great guest. We're going to talk to him about a lot of things, and we're also going to open up the phones so you guys can get read by this wonderful psychic I have coming on. But let's talk a little bit more about the astrology. We have a new moon coming in on Thursday, November 4th. And that new moon is in Scorpio. So the moon's headed for that watery, passionate, feely, touchy sign. And with the new moon in Scorpio, we also have a lot of energy shifts this week. I'm just going to look at my notes, because I always do the research before I come on and look at all the charts. So we have a lot of planets that are actually making their transits this week, and that can make us really feel some energy shifts. So you may feel really, really tired, or you may feel really energized, depending on where it is in your chart. Heard a lot of people feeling very tired and lethargic today. So we're coming into that new moon on the 4th, and that's going to ignite some eclipse energy. We have eclipses happening later in the month, which I'll talk about on a future program as we get closer to the 17th and 19th. But right now we've got Venus moving into Capricorn on the 5th, right after that really awesome new moon. And we've also got Mercury moving in from Libra to Scorpio. So when planets kind of jump into new zodiac signs, we can really feel the energy shifting. So what's the theme for this week and for the month of November? Well, I have to tell you, the theme is what do we value? And we're really going to be asked by the universe not only to think about what we value, what we think about, where we put our energy. Those are what I like to call the things we worship. So what are you worshiping? Are you worshiping something good and positive, that something is who you really want to be to show up in the world for? Or are you nurturing things that are distracting and taking away your energy? So really over the next couple of days, especially with this new moon coming in, the transits that the new moon is facing, you really want to think about that. One of the really good ways to think about what you're focusing on, or to really visualize and see what you're focusing on, is go through your journal if you journal, go through your email, go through your calendar, and look at what you've been focusing your time on. And then another great thing to do is look at your bank statement, look at your debit card statement. What are you spending your money on? Because that's also where we focus. So where does all your money go and where does all your time go? That's going to reveal for you what you value most and where you spend most of your time and money. They may need to be put in alignment. And as we go into the eclipse season this year, those alignments are going to be really, really prevalent. So you want to start to align yourself with what's positive in your life, because you really don't want the universe to come and do it for you. I think I'd rather be in control than allow the universe to make me in alignment. So who's on tonight? Let's see who's on the show with us. Who do I have here? I've got some comments. I have Joanne, Janine, Nicole, all watching. I've got Sarah. Sarah's all the way from Virginia. We've got a few other people on. So now I'm going to introduce my beautiful, wonderful, fabulous guest. And our guest tonight is Joseph Dario. And I know he and his family for a long time. Joseph is a psychic medium, a spiritual teacher, a spiritual advisor, and a feng shui consultant. We're going to definitely ask him about that. Maybe he could feng shui Paradise Studios a little bit over here. And he has been hearing spirit all of his life. He's been on the spiritual path hoping to help those who wish to hear from their loved ones and spirit guides. Sounds definitely like someone who I have a lot in common with. So everybody welcome Joseph to the show tonight. I want to see a bunch of hearts on this comment. I want to see some smiley faces and some shares. So welcome, Joseph.
Oh, thank you so much, Jojo Rose.
Thank you so much for being in the soul space. So I want to know, like, what was your first experience? Like, when did you first feel spirit or have a message, or how did it happen for you? Like, what was the first thing you can remember?
When I was a little kid, maybe around 5 years old, I remember speaking to my dad about, things are going on, and I see people who aren't really there. And I think when my great-grandfather passed away, like, my dad had a quick talk with me about, because I kind of understood what was going on, and he found that amazing. You understand what's going on? I'm like, yeah, I understand, because I
And
call
how
him
old
Gramps.
were you?
I was 5.
Wow, that's crazy.
And just going forward from there, it was always just like, all right, I can see things, not all the time, but I can see things and just feel things, and just, that intuitive knowing.
Yeah.
Just knowing
Yeah.
things, like, for that don't make sense, but I know it, or just knowing what was going on.
So now, when you say you see things, do you actually see visually, or do you see in your mind?
Both.
Okay.
I feel like
You
it
can see spirit.
Yeah, it depends on the energy dose.
Wow.
A lot of things I'll say are mostly in my head, but a lot of times I do see something walking across, and I'm like, yeah, that's spirit. And I learned like over the course of all these years not to be scared by it, because I'm like, yeah, that's
That was the next question.
That's a see-through person, but I've asked spirit in my head, like, let's just do it more in my head. I don't need to see it all the time.
I can understand that, because sometimes I would think that would be very distracting if
Yes.
you're in the earthbound world doing a regular job and you're seeing something walk across the room.
Yes.
So when you were 5, you had that experience? Like, did you
Yes.
see things as a child?
Yes.
And so growing up, did that become a normal experience for you, or did you always question it? Were you frightened by it?
Frightened for a while. Fortunately, I had my siblings who were all a little bit doing it too,
Oh,
more or
wow.
less. We didn't quite get together and start talking about it until we were all much, much older. It's like, oh my God, you had this experience too. You did this too.
Yeah.
A little more with my sister than my two brothers.
So
but
you had a really active house.
yes. I think also, like, when you're sensitive, you attract attention for a while. And
Yeah,
it's just like,
yeah.
when it's like, oh, I see things. Like, I remember saying weird stuff to some of my teachers growing up. Not all the time, but just I remember freaking out some people. So some of them, I apologize, I freaked you out.
I could imagine the kindergarten teacher might be a little put off. But, have you seen, I don't know your age, but have you seen over the course of your life this become so much more of an openness to people to it? People are so much more accepting of this now.
Yes.
I know when I was a little girl, I remember my grandmother or mom would talk about things like this at the dining room table, and I would just be so frightened. I would just go upstairs in my room, because it was almost a taboo. But I feel it's changed so much.
Oh, yes, it's definitely changed. People are so much more into at least discussing it. Maybe not being into it, but they're into talking about it.
Right.
Which helps a lot.
So as a child, coming from a family who was very open and who understood psychic things, did you find that your brothers and sisters helped you, integrate this energy, or did you have tools? Like, what did your parents do with you?
A lot of things, like, we didn't quite understand what was going on, so we kind of maybe put it aside. I mean, also my teenage years, I shut it off a lot, not all of it, but a lot of it during my teenage years for obvious reasons.
That's common, I hear that's common.
It's like, because there were so many other things going on with you when you're a teenager, so you don't want to deal with this on top of that, although it didn't go away. But more so...
You can't unring the bell, right?
Yes, yes.
That's what happens.
But more so my sister. I would discuss a few things with my sister. We would try things out on each other, like, what can you see, what can you read. But
wow.
Honestly, my father was the one who got the ball rolling with seeing a healer on Long Island. Her name is Pat Longo, and we started, and one by one, every family member of my house was going to her classes, and we developed it from there.
Very well known.
And
yes.
This is years ago.
Yep.
I can't believe it's years ago.
She's been around a long time. I even went to a few of her classes. How do you feel now about psychic development classes? Do you feel that they really help someone, or what's your feeling about that?
I feel like they can really be helpful. I think more and more people now are waking up. I think it's part of our Earth becoming more of a 5D experience, that more and more people are just opening up to the connections. They don't have to be specifically maybe mediums or psychics, but they're just intuitive.
See, I found when I went to a lot of psychic development classes, I think the best thing that happened for me in those classes was being in a room with like people.
Yes.
And so that opened me more. I feel like when we're around energy, like even now sitting here with you, and the psychic energy is brought in more. So I think for me, though, that kind of development was really great. But I would think for you, because you opened as a child, that was really an integral part of learning, how to really integrate and control the energy.
Yes, I mean the classes were amazing because I learned to function a lot better because I kind of stored it all to the side of like I don't know what to do with this. It's like I can, but I don't know. So put it in a box.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it opened me up. And again, it was wonderful being around other people outside of the family who was also involved with this on any level. Just to talk to someone like I feel something and like, well, I feel something too, and like, oh my God, this is amazing.
I'm not unlike everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you, as a child or a teenager, started to like repress a little bit, did that give you anxiety? Did you still?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's what I hear from a lot of people.
Oh yes, anxiety through the roof, and again, I didn't know what to do with that. I tried
energy, right?
Channeling it out in some ways. Like I'm an artist, so I would channel it in artwork, and then I wouldn't like that, so I would get rid of it. And because again, it was just all my anxiety and hemmed up stuff, and sometimes voices would pop into my head and I'm just like, I don't like any of this. Let's just, go through the motions. But then fortunately I had guides and relatives who had passed on that were also very, very helpful. And I heard them in my head. So
you had someone from the other side helping you integrate.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That's such a beautiful feeling when you have that. I call it my dead relative society. And one of my teachers actually used to call it that. So I kind of emulate her doing that.
I like that.
So there had to be a turning point for you. When you're a teenager and you have all this angst, you have all this stuff, but it's still going on. What was your turning point?
I feel like when my father started going to classes, because he started opening up what he was aware of, and he started telling us about it, and I'm just like, this is really, really cool. And it's like, oh,
it's really a thing.
It's really a thing, and and also to find out like this runs in my family most likely because other people have expressed it. I mean, not that it was talked about in past generations, but I'll say it makes sense looking back at
like
it.
It's like a bloodline.
Like, okay, yeah, there's something going on with that. So it runs in the family. We're all capable, but not just because of our family line. It's just also I feel like everybody's capable on some level of being intuitive.
Absolutely, I agree 1,000%. I also feel sometimes this is your experience and been mine also. I found out much later, but I find that there's like this bloodline or this tradition that runs in family, and I often feel like it's almost like being a tradition of a healer. And it just runs in your DNA. Because I think, I'm sure you would agree, like even just reading your bio, you do this because it's messages of love. So it's really a healing experience, wouldn't you say, when you do psychic reading?
Yes, and that's why I love it. Because it's not the only thing I do with myself, and it's like I decided if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this for the higher good and to give healing.
Right.
And that's what my intention with all of my clients and everybody I see is like I want to bring out messages of healing for the people.
And I think that comes through in all of your media. Like you just have this beautiful, loving energy, and it's my hope on the Soul Space that we only have people in here who emulate that energy and expand it even more. Because I feel like there's so many people who watch us that need to have that in their life. And I thank you so much for being that. And really, it's a choice to make that higher, energy come through. And I feel like there's an awful lot of healers and seers and readers out there who don't do that. And you really do, Joseph. So I want to commend you for that. I'm so
thank you.
Honored to have you in this whole space. So you go into classes with Pat Longo, and she's amazing. I think she still does classes, actually.
She does. I think it's all remotely right now.
Yeah, of course. And also, she's very selective, I think, about who she puts in her classes, because there are so many people now. And she wrote a book, too. I'd love to have her on the show someday. But
I love her book.
Yeah, because it's about the anxiety, right?
Yes. I'm trying to remember. Oh God, sorry, Pat. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's just it's escaping me.
Pat, if you're watching, come on the show. We're going to make a date for you as well. So I was going to say about the anxiety. So you're in the classes with Pat. You're meeting people. So now it's becoming more of a thing that you can accept.
Yes, and once that came in, the roller coaster ride started. Like, okay, now we're going, because then it just went. Because I remember Pat once told me, it's like she's watching me as I interact with everybody in her class, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to put you in a fair now," and I'm just like, "What do you mean you're going to put me in a fair?"
Not in front of the public.
I remember she put my sister, my father, and I at a fair, and we tried it out. She said for the first time, she says, we're not quite ready. But then the second time the opportunity came around, she's like, I'm putting you in, and she put me in, and she told me you're going to do just fine. And I'm like, all right, I'm taking your word for it. I did do just fine. Like everything.
And you would, because the intention is love.
Yes.
And that's your energy. So you're going to do great anytime you put in front of somebody.
I mean, I hope that anyone just takes that as like the anxiety was there. Like I was so nervous. I didn't know, like, why am I here? What am I doing? And I'm like, and I was fine.
Do you remember your first reading, or is it a total blur?
I think right now is a total blur, but I do remember I remember that overall whole day. I felt so good afterwards. It felt so good too, not just because I was finished. It was because of the work that was done that day.
Yeah, total high.
And
I can imagine.
And like I don't remember my readings so much. Like I sit down with people, but I'm like, and it's gone. Like it's not my information, and I'm not trying to remember
anything. The same way.
anything.
That's so funny that you say that, because most readers will say, "Oh, that doesn't happen to me," and it's gone. I think we're on another level. Like when we read, our minds are not here. They are. We're here. If anyone saw us reading, they would know we were in the room. But do you feel like that? You're on like some other plane?
I feel like I'm on some other plane and something else, and I don't, not that someone takes over, but just like, but I'm reading something from up here, and and once we're done, it's like it's not my information, so it's gone.
Now, when is your birthday? What's your sign?
I'm a Capricorn. My birthday is January 4th.
So you're a builder. You're a builder climber.
Builder climber. Yes, I am.
You know where your moon and everything is, or? My
moon is in Aquarius. My rising is, I believe it's Cancer.
Oh, that's a lot of love, boy. A lot of love. But that's interesting about the Aquarius moon, because it's almost like that balance is balance for you, because it gives you a little bit of detachment that you need to do the readings and not get so involved in them.
Yes, because that is another issue. Because I'm in the reading, I'm ready to cry with you, and I'm like, can I? Yes, I can. And I'm like, but maybe I should. I have no idea. Should I cry? Do you ever cry when you're in a reading?
I sometimes do, if it's because sometimes I don't even know how to explain it, because it's so hard to explain some of these things, guys, because we're looking for words from this world to explain things that are not of this world. So there are no words.
Yes.
Yes. Really, that's what it is. But sometimes I get very caught up if I have someone who comes in and they show me their passing, in that moment when they pass. Sometimes it's not a fear. I always feel this unbelievable amount of love when people cross over. I can feel what it's like for them. And that makes me very emotional, because it's just so much love, and I get emotional because I want everyone to feel that.
And it's like for you, like for me, sometimes it's like this wave is crashing over me of that love and of that light, and it's just like, it feels so good. Like, how do you not cry when you're experiencing this?
So much. It's like, yeah.
Yes.
I'm so glad you get that, because very few people I talk to do, but that's amazing. And I get very like weepy, because I want everyone in the whole universe to be able to feel it, and they can't, unless they're open to it. And it's so beautiful. I think more and more of us are feeling that. It's just so cool. I just want to cry now.
I mean, the Capricorn in me, it doesn't want to always get so weepy, because I think that's just the Capricorn in me. It's like,
absolutely.
I got to stay back. I got to be stirred. I got to be straight. I mean, not straight faced.
But I think that was a blessing. The Aquarian and the Capricorn energy is a blessing for you with the detachment, because it probably makes you a much better reader, because you can really see things without getting caught up in the emotion of it. So that's beautiful.
While still being involved in the emotion, because I do feel it, and I'm just like, because I know when I'm done, like I do like a saging ritual to clear it all out, because I'm involved in all this energy.
Of course,
it's like, this can't stay because it's not mine.
And that's the higher energy of the Aquarian energy, because Aquarians are a service to the world. They just want to be there and servicing the world and doing all good things for the collective on a bigger scale. And then it's almost like they do all that, and then they just want to go home and close the door, and you leave them alone until they want to come out again and do it. So that would be, I think, an ideal career for you. You know, the ideal career for you is doing what you do. So,
which is wonderful.
Yeah. Is that a phone call? Oh, it's good. They always tell me I don't know what the chime is for the phone call, guys. So, hello, welcome. You're in the Souls. We have a phone call. Then I want to hear the rest of your story, because I know there's something more to it. Hi, welcome to the Soul Space. How are you tonight?
Okay. Hi, Georgia. This is Marianne.
Oh, hi, Marianne. How are you? Marianne is one of our loyal listeners, and she always supports our work. So, do you have a question for Joseph tonight, Marianne? How are you doing?
Okay. Anything like, is my husband around me, or things like that?
We'll give Joseph a few minutes.
Yes, Marianne, but I also feel a J name is around you.
It might be my brother-in-law, John.
Because, let's see, and they show me flowers around you. So to me, either you just received new flowers or you purchased new flowers, because it's all flowers around you is all I'm looking at in my mind. But I also hear the husband. I also hear, boy, there's a lot of family members for you on the other side. Mm-hmm. please just know that your husband is there because he says he keeps moving, let's see, moving his picture on you. I guess the picture he shows me is like it's always slightly askewed. So if you notice that, then please just know that that's him moving it for you. But he says he's with you every single day. The moment you wake up, because when you wake up, you're wondering if he's in the room with you, and you kiss him, you blow him a kiss goodnight. So he wants you to know that he catches the kiss and blows it right back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You also connect to Frank Sinatra. Do you like his music?
That was our wedding song.
Because he's playing that in my mind, and because he loves you so very much, and that's just what he plays for himself when he's with you. Because he says, "I love you so very much," and I feel like, Joe, of course, you got to tell her, you got to blow her the kisses. I mean, I'm a Sicilian. We know how to blow kisses.
You know if he's with my grandson, who died today, 16 years ago?
Please just know that yes, he is with your grandson.
Okay.
Your grandson, they said, they're all telling me your grandson is a colorful person. Just very, I'll say, I see a lot of creativity, a lot of art, a lot of love from this kid. I call him a kid.
Oh.
And because I'm just like, I call everybody a kid, honestly, if you give me a moment.
Well, he was only 16. He's 16. He died at birth.
Oh. Please just know, but he's also there, and I'll say sometimes, spirit decides maybe it's not the right time for them, or there's other circumstances going on. But please just know, but he's safe and sound, and your husband says he's next to him. Your husband also has a few other, I'll say there's other women around him, and he just wants to point that out. He says, he's not alone. He's got the entourage behind him.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
You're very
You're
welcome.
welcome. That's so interesting, Marianne, because every time you call into the show, I always say I see flowers around you. So there you go.
Yeah. I guess he's sending flowers all the time. Yeah. We were at the cemetery today, too.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I hope that comforts you to know he's always there. He's catching your kisses at night.
Okay. Thank you, Georgia, and thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Bye.
So interesting when things come through like that, just like.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. I like that I picked up on the flowers like you do.
All the time. Hello, you're welcome to the Soul Space. We just need you to turn down your device. Hello, you're welcome to the Soul Space. Hello? We just need you to turn down your device. Is someone there? Welcome to the Soul Space.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the Soul Space. You're with Georgia
Hi.
Rose and Joseph.
Hi.
So do you have a question for Joseph tonight? Who are we talking to?
My name is Greg.
Hi, Greg. Welcome to the Soul Space.
Hi, Greg.
Hi.
So did
Okay.
you?
Yeah. My question is, I had want to see if any passed on relatives or trying to get in touch, or if they have any messages for me.
First thing I hear, George, can you connect to a sister energy who's passed for you?
I'm sorry. What?
Can you connect to a sister energy who's passed for you? Because immediately I just feel
Sister energy?
that, or
no sister, no.
That, or a close friend who feels like that to you, because it's a woman energy. Because
Okay.
she also keeps waving a fan in my face as I'm asking about it.
Okay.
And please just know that it's like they're all telling me like she's a riot on the other side, because she said like she's the comedy woman.
Okay. I did actually. I did have a sister that passed, but she was only 5 months old, so I really didn't know her. But
that makes sense. If you didn't really know her, but please just know that. But she's an energy who's there, watching over you. Because I'll say if she didn't get to spend a lot of time with you in this lifetime, she knows you very well from the other side.
okay.
Also to do that.
Did they name sister?
Yes,
What was the name?
Valerie.
Yeah, just I feel like light. There's light there for her. Yeah.
So much light.
Yeah.
There's two other gentlemen who's passed for you, but they're at the same level as you are. So to me, that what do you want to call that? One of them is showing me an R. If you can connect to an R name,
Okay.
because he shows me an R and he shows me fishing, because I'm always asking for validations. Tell me who you are, dude, in like in spirit. And that's the first thing he shows me. Because one, he says like you walk around and like you're thinking about them. I'll say not all the time, but let's see, at least a few times throughout the day. You just pop in your head. It's like, hey, is that you? Are you feeling me? Or they want you to know that you are feeling them. When you think about them randomly, I'll say you are recognizing that they're in the room with you, because that's why you're thinking about them randomly, because you can pick up on that spirit is around you.
Nice.
Do you do like a lot of handiwork on the side, like for yourself? You do like some carpentry?
Not as a business, just around the house, just tooling around it, on the house.
Okay. Do you keep?
But not as a occupation.
Okay. Do you keep dropping things though? Like.
Well, I don't know. I can ask my wife that.
Because I'm just here, like they're just making me hear the sounds of like, to me that's tools dropping all over the place. Because I'm like, but it felt like it's you, not spirit. Yeah, I guess with the sister energy. But what I feel like is also brothers who passed, because I said the sister at first, but now it just feels like it's two gentlemen on your level. So to me, it's either a brother or a friend.
Okay.
I love that you can feel that they know he knows they're in the room. That's such a beautiful thing. So definitely, take that with you and know that you can bring in that love from your loved ones, even if they're on the other side.
Okay. Yep.
And also get back on the boat.
Okay, back on a boat. All right.
Get back on the boat, because they said that's like a Zen spot for you, or it's just something you enjoy. And I guess, and I know for us it's November now and things are getting cold, so I don't know like how real of a thing that could be.
Yeah.
But if it's just something, I'll say as soon as you get back to it, because it's something that you enjoy. And they said that's where you feel us the most, and when you feel
maybe a cruise,
your true self the most is when I guess this is kind of happening.
Nice. Okay. I do have an anniversary of one of them passing coming up.
And that's this month?
Yeah.
Okay. That's later this month. Someone just said to me. So much later this month, like in the 20s.
Yeah, so I got
okay.
28.
Because please just know they know when you're thinking about them, and they love that you want to do your own little celebration. With them, them and here in spirit. I'm sorry, I got a crowd. I don't know how that works for you, but I usually get a crowd talking to me at some point.
You know what it is? I'm probably going to play the video back, and I have weird looks on my face because I'm trying not to get in your energy. And we're sitting so close, and I'm like.
We're actually having an anniversary dinner this Thursday, actually.
Okay.
For the passing.
On the new moon, that's great.
Well, please just know, but they love it. They absolutely appreciate it. You also have parents on the other side too, because I feel like I'm opening the door and the whole family's walking in.
Like a parade.
And just because they all know that you're thinking about them, and they said when you celebrate, they celebrate, and you have they're showing me all these, I guess, either mass cars or just pictures of them, but they're all in a row behind one another. And they said when you kind of shuffle through this thing, it's every time when we look at photos of them, the spirit loves when we're being nostalgic, and they just kind of tell him we're here, tell him we're watching him do this, because he's just rummaging through, I guess, what do you call that, like a card catalog? I'm being really old right now.
No, it's like that.
I feel like my parents are definitely watching.
Oh, your parents have such a fun dynamic together. I mean, to me, it's it's like, again, another comedy act. Because
I feel like Ray Romano.
Yes.
Everybody Loves Raymond?
They definitely were there was something. There was some team.
Please just know, but they know how much you love them and how much you miss them, because again, you reference them. They said you always tell stories. There's always a story, especially about your mother. She's there's always a story about something she's done, because maybe she wasn't always in the knowing of everything in the most proper way, so she made it funny. So the antics she would do, it's it became a comedy story, because it was just something great to tell. But she loves that you keep her young and vibrant that way.
Yeah, my mom had great stories. I wish I would have. They could have made a movie of her life. Actually, that's how much she was part of us.
She also shows me cardinals in the yard. So if you see there's 2 red cardinals in the yard, that pops. They say every day. So if you see that every day, somewhere in there's 2 cardinals.
Okay.
Because that's them. That's both your parents.
Yep. Do you have some kind of a Christmas ornament or something that is cardinals? I feel like you have something that's cardinals in the house.
I think we do.
Yeah.
Chris, we got cardinal stuff, right? Yeah, I think we do, actually.
That's wonderful. Your wife also has a father who's passed?
Yes.
Because he's just like egging into this. And he's just like, you got, like, I'm here too. You gotta bring me in. And I'll say he's not as funny as your family.
Yeah.
But he wants her to know he wants her to know that he never suffered. He said, and he appreciates the effort that she put in for his care before he passed. And he says this is just very important that she knows he knows that how much she loves him and everything she did for him, because I feel like she was making, I guess her and other people were making decisions on his behalf that he couldn't do towards the end, and he wants her to know that it was the right decisions for him, because he's telling me he had a lot of things going wrong with him. So I guess just kind of like crumbling as a person, and he was a fighter. He was saying, like, Joe, I'm a fighter. It's like, I'm a stern, stubborn fighter. Like, I did not want anything to stop me. So he hung in there for a long time.
Yes, he sure did.
So please just know, but he says he loves you, and he really just wants me to say how much he appreciates the effort you put in for him, because you knew how much he wanted to hang in, and you were trying to help him as best you can. But he says I'll say overthinking it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. He's just like, but he wants you to know he understood how much love and how much effort you put in. It's like, no, you made sure you knew everything that was going on, every detail, and fighting with, I guess, the people, like maybe the people who are caring for him. And it's like, no, this needs to happen, and somebody's not listening to this. And he says, I appreciate everything that you did for me. He says, even down to picking out, he said, his colors, I guess, for his services, and because you just in your head was just like, I don't know, like, is it this one or is it this one? Which one? Because like, which one would he wear? And he's just like, he loves you, and he says, please just know, like, no matter what, I love you, and everything you did for me was so out of love.
Aw, that's wonderful. Thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Very strong life force even now. Like, he is coming across with that love. And, you know, I always tell people, if someone loved you that much on the earth plane, can you imagine how much and how strong his love is for you, even someplace even more beautiful than we can ever even imagine? So feel that, you know, even at night before you guys go to bed or whatever, just bring in that strong, loving energy, because that'll see you through a lot of things, even though he's no longer on this earth.
Okay, yeah, I needed that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And when you guys go to this anniversary dinner later this week, they said you're gonna I guess toast to them, or toast to him. So they said they're just gonna be with you when you do the toast. So I'll say keep that in mind.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Yeah, we miss him a lot too. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for calling in.
And we think of him often.
We're so glad you called in tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, us too. Us too. Thank you again. Have a wonderful night, you guys.
You too. Okay, we've got another call. You are a popular guy today.
Us too. Us too.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the Soul Space. I just need you to turn down your device because we're getting feedback.
Oh, the phone?
Yes.
The
volume.
You mean that I'm listening to on there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There you go. So welcome to the Soul Space. And what's your name?
Hi, it's Liz.
Hi, Liz. How are you?
Hi, Liz.
Good. How you doing?
So do you have something in particular you want to ask Joseph this evening?
About maybe my brother or my nephew.
Joseph is on fire tonight. He is on fire.
What?
See, brother passed. He passed like a little more than a year ago, because everyone's just like yelling like it's not recent, but it's not. He's not that old. He's not that old.
It's just about a year.
Okay.
December will be a year.
Okay, because it's just it's just under a year is my feeling. Please just know, someone made paper paper. I don't know what you call that, like ornaments or just paper paper cutouts for him. And hung it around, because that's the first thing I see in my mind, which I don't think I've ever got that before.
Maybe his grandchildren.
Okay, because if he's just saying that he absolutely loves that, I guess, or maybe it's Christmas ornaments that haven't happened yet.
Paper cutouts.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I've never seen paper cutouts in my mind before.
Okay.
Interesting.
but just like let's see, but just decorations. But you light candles for him, he says, regularly. So please just know that he absolutely loves the candles, and you can't decide what like you just have to. It has to be specific colors with you. It has to be a white candle. It can't be because he showed me like maybe there was a red candle that came into play, and you're just like, no, it can't be red. It has to be white.
Oh, okay. Unless that might not be. I don't know if that's me or somebody else in the family.
It might. If it's somebody else, it will make sense later.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I've tried calling them in. Was going through something a couple of months ago, and I really was calling them in for help. And it seemed like they did come in, along with a couple other people.
Please just know, the moment you ask for help is the moment they go right to work and help you out. They just can't do it for you. They can only point you in the direction or give you signs to where you need to go. This guy really liked to drink soda. He keeps giving me like bottles of soda.
Okay.
Because I'm just asking him in my mind, like, he's got to give me examples of stuff that he used to do and stuff that he would recognize. He also had an issue with his heart because he's making my heart pound.
My brother, well, he had something with his lung, which is, close to it.
No, I'm getting heart too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless that makes sense more for your nephew that you're asking about.
Okay, yeah, it's possible. He had anxiety. He definitely had a lot of anxiety and depression.
Let's see, with your brother though, he says that you monologue to him almost every single day. Like in your mind, when I say monologue, like you just talk to him and like straight out, like just asking questions. Just you want to make sure that he's okay. He wants you to know that he is okay. But he loves the daily conversations. Because he says like every single day.
I do talk to him a lot.
You also connect to 2 dogs who have passed on the other side for you. Because while I do this, it's just everybody who shows up.
Yes.
Because one
my Katie and Blue.
Because one also passed not the same time as your brother, but I'll say, but maybe within the year as well. Because one also feels very fresh to me. Please just know that.
That was Blue. Back in July. We had to have him put to sleep.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I had to do that myself with a pet, and please just know that
it was very hard. Yeah.
Please just know
that. Did
he
like bacon?
I'm sorry.
I said we made him a big plate of bacon before when we had the vet come to the house.
That was wonderful. Oh, I would love to do that for an animal. So just give him here's a plate of bacon for no reason. Just have a plate of bacon.
Sparky gets hamburgers.
He loved bacon. Yes.
But please just know that your brother's taking care of him, both of them, because he says it's like I'm here, they're here. Like it's not so much taking care of them. Like you don't have to do that in heaven. It's more like we get to hang out, and like he gets to spend time because he says, you know what, I love animals too. He's got his own entourage of pets who have also passed over the years.
Yes, he has.
He tells me though he was in and out of the hospital for a while, but then when he did pass, it was kind of like all in one day. It's like you go in and then it was over. But he wants you to understand though. But I'll say the journey to get there was difficult. But he says his actual passing was very, very easy. He said he felt like he felt like it was going to be like this is the day. Like he didn't quite want to explain that to anybody, but he's like, yeah, I feel like this is the day. Sometimes we get that, but he wants you to understand. But it was peaceful from his point of view.
Is this my nephew or my brother?
Your brother.
Oh, okay.
Because your brother's very chatty.
Do you have a particular question, Liz, that you want to ask?
No, I just want to know that they're okay. I know they're in a good place. I miss them dearly, but, and I feel bad for the family itself, his kids, and, what they're going through, missing both of them. They lost their father and their brother within the year, so it was a rough year for them.
Let's see, your nephew, they keep showing me he very much liked helping people because they keep giving me just my symbols with that. But he was an outdoors person. I don't want to call him a wild man because sometimes people take that the wrong way. But he was just like very, I guess, not rugged, but just I'll say he enjoyed being outside. He enjoyed doing the work. I also keep seeing cars in my mind because I keep putting it away and they keep putting it back in my mind. I'm like, because I said you got to be sure if you're going to show me that. He liked, I guess, driving. He liked, I guess, the wind in his face. So he's doing that right now in heaven.
Oh, you're cutting out. Oh.
We're cutting out? Oh, I'm
That
sorry.
must have been your phone then, Liz. Do you have any other last question, Liz? Because we're going to go to other phone lines.
Yeah, nope, I'm good. Thank you so much, guys.
Anything you wanna
Appreciate it.
Finish up with?
Please just know, but your nephew
Thank
says that
you.
he appreciates the thoughts.
Guys,
And
have a blessed night.
Okay. You can say because she'll watch the show.
okay, because he also shows me there's I guess a little statuette, maybe of an angel with a red ribbon around it, and they just want to show appreciation for that because that's for him.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, okay. All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You guys have a great night.
You too, Liz. Thank you for calling in.
All right, All
So-
right, great. Bye-bye.
So where can people find you, Joe? You're on fire tonight.
On fire. They can find me. I'm all over the place now. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I do have a website. It's just simply myname.com, josephdyro.com.
Okay, we'll put that in the comments after the show so people can find you.
Like-
And you have a class coming up that you're offering.
Yes, I have a class called Room for Creation with Spirited Events by Jofa. It's just going to be, it's a short class. I just want to explain manifestation and how to bring about positive things into people's lives because that's what I love doing. I love talking about manifestation, but I want to explain to people how to do it and do it on, let's say, on levels maybe that they maybe have never heard of before because I've done it personally. Because anything I do, I'm talking from personal experience. Because
That's
I've manifested
beautiful.
things, but I figured out, all right, well, I have to really vibe with what I want to bring
Yeah.
in, and I want to explain to
Yeah.
people, this is how you vibe with what you want to bring in.
You have to show the universe what you want. You can't sit on the couch and manifest a job.
Yes, you have. There's a few
the
more.
groundwork.
There's a few more things you need to do, and I'll say it's not as hard as you think it is.
Right.
You just have to know what you're doing. So
That's
if anyone's
right.
interested, please visit my Facebook page, because I've been posting about it, or my Instagram, and for
Joseph
more
Dario.
information.
So you can find him on Facebook. You can, I'll put all this in the comments for the show. And also, now I have to say is a great time to take Joseph's class because the way that the cosmos are and the way the planets are right now with the astrology is never been a better time for manifesting than right now. The universe just wants us so much to be in alignment with our soul purpose. So we had a couple of questions in chat. I don't know if your mom is watching. Hey, Janet. Bunch of people watching. Bonnie Ulrich, Joanna Maya, Liz was on already. Gira O'Brien, she was on last week, a new watcher for us. Welcome. Nicole Giamarino. She had actually said that she had a friend who was actually murdered in July, and she was wondering if you saw anything. I don't know if you can read through the comments or not, Joe, but I don't know. I was going to say, Nicole, if you can, call into the show. The number is on the screen, I believe, or we'll put it up on the screen. And I've got Mary Perez here.
Hello, Mary.
And Nicole also wants to know if her parents are around her. And I've got Gira. Okay. So we've got a couple of comments. I don't know if you find anything for Nicole Giamarino.
She also said like her parents had passed because I
Yeah.
also see like there's orbs around her, and that is her parents. So if she's seeing them out of the corner of her eye, just know that is her parents. Sometimes people see shadows, but I see specifically it's just little dots of light that just
Right.
pop in and pop out.
Are they colored for you? Because sometimes they're blue for me.
I see white, so
Okay.
in this particular instance, sometimes I
Yeah.
see other colors, but again, it depends on their energy of what's going on with them. I'm sorry, I think you said someone was murdered.
Same girl, Gia Marina, Nicole. She's asking if her parents are around her, and then she said a friend that was murdered in July, which our condolences on that. I find sometimes when people have a sudden or violent death, it's harder to read them. I don't know if that's just my energy, or if you find that.
Sometimes yes, but with her, I feel like it's a woman who
Yeah,
passed.
I was getting like something with like strangulation or something.
Because there was more than one thing going on with that, and that was, I'll say, yes, it ended very badly, but there was so many signs going on that nobody ignored, but it's like, what can you do until other things happen? But
Right.
Spirit says that she was alone when this happened, so this is
I don't know.
a very bad situation. But please just know, but she's well taken care of because when my guides have told me when something like that goes on, it's like our guides are right there waiting to catch us. And they said, so for her experience, like she's immediately in heaven. And it's like, you're here and things are explained and it's like, this is what's went on, and like we'll take care of you. And
Right.
people who she would recognize start popping up because of like just too
Safety,
consoled.
yeah, they want to make
Yeah.
her feel safe and loved. I feel the same way. I feel also like, that lesson of impermanence that we suffer from so much as humans, like we're in suffering, but it's not permanent. I always feel no matter how violent a death is or how unfortunate a death is, that pain or that initial panic or that initial horror was temporary for that person, and then they were able to be in paradise.
Yes.
So, I think it's a horrible situation whenever we lose someone, but that's something to kind of take solace in almost.
I agree.
That whatever happened was temporary for them, and boom, they were over it.
Yes.
So that's something to always hold on to.
But I want to say they appreciate the tattoo that's being created in your mind. If that makes any sense, and I hope it makes sense to you, because now I'm looking at tattoos.
So Nicole, write in the comments if you were thinking of getting a tattoo in honor of your friend. All right, because that would be really great validation for us. We've got Anna Yoga from New York City. Amanda Vargas says loves watching you in action. This is great. And Nicole is saying thank you. So let us know if that tattoo is a confirmation.
Thank you.
So I have a question for you. In current events, like if, recently we had the Gabby Petito story and things like that. I know most of us who are in both worlds don't watch current events so much.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I very rarely turn on the TV myself. But do you ever get anything from something that's in the collective? Because I know I sometimes often get, I know this is going to happen, but I'm not telling people about it.
Yes, and I'll say, as a younger person, it was just like, whoa, like, it's like this, I don't know what, it's just a weird feeling, is the easiest way I can explain it.
It is a weird
it's
feeling.
It's like, you feel like this charge in the air, it's like something's about to happen, and I have no idea what it is, and Spirit's not exactly sharing what it is, but I kind of know where it is.
It's like a feeling of suspension or pressure building.
Yes.
I even felt that today a little bit. Like today's energy felt like that. I don't know if it was the transits coming in, but I think we're coming on a time collectively in our country, because the U.S. is going to a Pluto return, but I feel like it's almost like people keep putting more stuff in the pot.
Yes.
And it's just going to
boil over.
Do you feel like that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Especially for me, I mean, I don't know if you ever feel this way, but this time of year, especially when September kicks in, I'll say the energy, there's just an extra charge in the air. That's not
Absolutely.
That's
The veil is thin between both worlds.
Yeah. And it just charges up. And it's, for me, we ride this all the way to New Year's, and New Year's it drops.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I did it on the show last week. I was talking about like it almost is like light and dark are merging.
Yes.
And usually there's a differentiation, but it's like as soon as fall starts to come, they start to merge. And so everything's just heightened for people who are sensitive, I think.
And yes, the veil's thinner. Everyone's thinking about everything right now, like with the holidays, with the holiday that just passed, and our loved ones, and it just all collectively builds up. And it's just it's not a bad thing. It's just like it just feels like, here we go. Here's this, like, it's just like at the top of the roller coaster. Like, we don't drop.
Yeah, it's like
from
a pitch. It's almost like a pitching.
And and like the second, like I'll say January 2nd happens, it's gone. And I'm like, there we go. It's like now I can relax because
I
the
can
energy,
breathe.
it's
like a crescendo. And I think this year more so even in 2020 when we had all these things happening in the three-dimensional world. But I think even now it's like more because I feel like it's being orchestrated behind the scenes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So
by the higher energies, and
definitely.
it's just ultimately bringing us into a great space.
I was just going to say it's such a beautiful time to be alive in the universe, and I always tell people, especially when I look at an astrology chart or do a reading like you are doing, I always feel like there's a reason why you were born at exactly this time. So just take it all in and really try and embrace it, But I want to hear a little bit more. We have some time left. I just want to hear a little bit more about, everyone who's out there and maybe they feel they have some ability or they're going through that transition, especially young people who have anxiety from it, which is common. What do you think was actually your, going to Pat Longo's classes and things like that, but do you remember like the actual turning point when you were like, wow, this really is real and I want to do it in my life? Like when you were called to service?
I remember I did a meditation and my higher guide showed up, and my interest was, I know exactly who you are and I don't even have to ask. Like, I just know who you are.
You knew. It was innate.
And it's just like, it wasn't like, I'll say this was the calling. I had a choice to make, and I'm like, I want to do this, and I feel like this is why I'm here. And it was just kind of like in that moment.
You knew it was your purpose.
And it's like, this is like, among other things I could do, but it's like, I'm here to do this kind of work. And I remember like standing there in this meditation with my guide, and just like, okay, that's what you want, because we get to decide anything we want to do.
That's right,
here.
choices.
So it's like, all right, that's what you want to do. We're going to move forward with that. And it's just like, okay, what does that mean?
Right, right. Okay, what do I have to do now?
It's like, yes, what do I have to do? But I was about 11 years younger, so it was, I'll say, about, I was 26 years old.
So this has been quite a decade for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of all of this build-up, everything I've been doing up until now. And because then I decided, and I'm like, all right, guys, let's do whatever I need to do to do this kind of work and get myself out there. And my grandmother, who has passed, she was just like, well, I'm going to be in the background helping you with this the entire way.
That's
and I'm
beautiful.
like,
Oh my
thank
gosh.
you, Grandma, because every time I do a reading for anybody, she's standing behind me especially when I'm in groups. Because in groups, sometimes I get a little nervous, and she's just like, she's my calming energy, and she's also the organizer in my head.
Oh, that's a great energy to have.
So I'm just like, thank you, Grandma. She's like, you over there. It's like, you be quiet. You speak up.
You got it made with Grandma here.
Yes.
So my next question is, I think I know the answer, but when you're in this beautiful space like tonight we have in the soul space, and you're reading people and you're feeling these love from beyond come through, what does that feel like for you, Joseph Dario, as the psychic, as the medium, to be able to do that work?
It feels amazing. If you notice, as I do readings, I get giggly. And people
No,
point
the
that out.
vibration's so high.
Yes, because I feel my own vibration going up as I do this, and at the same time, I feel so calm. And I could be nervous, but I always feel calm in the back of my mind, and that's just where my head's not so much involved with it. It's just they're showing me imagery and they're just talking
it's
to
like
me.
pure heart space.
Yes, and so it's like I'm not putting like a lot of thought into this. It's just like this is what they're saying, and I'm just repeating it.
Right.
But I feel so good. And sometimes I don't want to come down from that, how good of a feeling that is.
Until the exhaustion comes.
Yes, until the exhaustion comes. Like, oh yeah, I've been expelling my energy for a few hours, and I'm like, all right, now I gotta go be alone for a while because I need to recharge.
Right.
But
It's so beautiful that you do this work. I feel that people who look on the outside and look in at people like yourself think it's easy, or they think, you go to a class and you learn it and you start to meditate a lot and it all comes. But I don't think people understand, and maybe you could speak to it a little bit, of what's really involved on a spiritual level and the things that you really have to be disciplined about.
It's a lot of this, which is where the Capricorn in me kicks in, because it is the discipline of keeping myself grounded, keeping myself on some leveled out. Because,
spiritual practices.
Yes.
Yeah.
And meditation is so important, or just even connection. And I need to if I'm going to sit down with any of my clients, I need and I want to be in a good spot, to be able to give them whatever they need today. So that's always been important, and that's where discipline really comes in, because I never want to sit in front of somebody and be like, oh, I'm not into it right now, and I'm just going to do it right now.
So you can find Joseph on his Facebook page and on his website, Joseph Dario, Dario. November 15th is his beautiful classroom for creation. And is there anything else you want to tell our audience, Joseph?
I'm also, I'm a certified feng shui practitioner, because I've been studying energy all my life, basically, and my background is in architecture, so I absolutely love, and I've been exploring this so much more, and I'm happy to assist people in, not just with their bodies, but with their environments, and creating a beautiful environment where energy flows properly, because now the next level of it all is we're stepping into being more energy conscious of how energy works in our spaces, and I love the feng shui.
All kinds of energy, right?
Yes, because it's the ancient art, and it goes back so much farther than we think it does.
We're going to have you back on the show for that.
Oh, awesome.
But we're definitely going to have him back on for reading, guys, because he was phenomenal tonight. Thank you all for calling in and sharing the soul space with us. You can find me on Zenkuda.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere. And of course, we'll be back next Monday night in the soul space at 7 o'clock. And we hope to see you all there. Joseph, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so very much.
We loved having you. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.